What's going on, y'all? It's Pat here. I'm in my studio right now. This is where I do all of my editing for my videos. I'm currently doing some editing right now, and I'm also working on my website with new recipes. But before we get into the next video, which is part 2 of my I Risk My Life for Chicken Wings video, it's right there. If you haven't seen it yet, make sure you go ahead and check it out. I have an update for you all. So, as you know from the last video, we got, our car shut down in traffic. Very scary situation. We had to get a tow truck to come out. Long standing issue with AAA. It's not behind us, but it's, there was an underlying bigger issue at hand. So what initially happened to get that car stalled the way it was that we took the car to a new mechanic. Mechanic did their analysis, ran some tests and, checked the car out. Turns out where we got the oil change at the previous time, they did not do it correctly. We took it to the new mechanic. They said that when they were initially checking the car, all the oil just started spilling out of the car. And we noticed that too whenever we had the car towed initially, so we thought there was a problem. And apparently because all that oil leaked, our car shut down and it messed up our engine. So now we have to get a new engine. I'm not paying for that. So I called the mechanic where we originally got it done at, had a long conversation, and of course they're going to take full ownership and responsibility for what happened. But they also told us that what's going to happen now is we have to wait, hopefully not too long, but they have to replace the engine and get all that stuff fixed. It's been a long few days. I'm tired. I know my wife is tired. It's frustrating. Fortunately, the good thing is, thank God, we don't have to pay for it ourselves. But just the idea of having this all situated because of a simple oil change. The oil change is what led to all this happening. So hopefully it gets fixed, but I just wanted to give you guys an update. Thank you for your concerns and your outpours on social media. Thank you guys for the concern when we were stranded out there. It really does mean a lot. But yeah, now it's time to dive into part 2 of the I Risk My Life for Chicken Wings video, where I'm actually going to share with you the chicken wings recipe. Again, it's going to be on my website, cookingwithpatlee.com. Make sure you check it out for all of my latest recipes. Make sure you follow me on social media, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and of course, YouTube. Make sure you subscribe. And without further ado, here's part 2. All right, y'all, I'm back home. Sorry for the raspiness in my voice. I'm tired, but I got dinner to make. Just letting y'all see me here, just so y'all know I'm here. Hold on, let me bring the camera up a bit. Just so you see that I'm here. I don't have the most spacious kitchen, unfortunately. So you'll see parts of me. You'll see some of my face. You'll see the food. I had a whole elaborate dinner plan, but we're going to do what we have to do. Now I'm going to get the seasoning them. I'm going to season my chicken first, and then I'm going to season my flour, and we're going to get it all together nice and fried. So first thing I usually like to do, I don't use salt. I use MSG. Pretty sure you can find MSG in any Asian market or any grocery store. If you can't, this is a nice substitute. It really just adds an extra depth of flavor to anything you put in, whether it's chicken, beef. Some people put it in cookies, but I like it. I like it when I put it in my chicken. So not too much, not too crazy. Next, I'm going to add some black pepper. And me personally, as a chef, I feel like salt and pepper should be the base of anything that you make. It shouldn't be, the standalone component of seasoning. And if you want to argue with me, let me know in the comments, but that's how I feel. All right, next up, we're going to add some garlic powder, followed by its forgotten but appreciated cousin, onion powder. Sometimes I make it with it, sometimes I don't. Adding a little bit of Cajun spice to the mix. We like our chicken spicy also, so I'm adding some cayenne pepper. We're going to add some Badia complete seasoning. It's a nice little all-purpose seasoning that I like to use. My southern folk know what it is. You want to add a nice binder to your chicken, so I'm just going to go in with a little mustard. And then we're about to make these chicken wings golden. Why? Because I'm using eggs. And if you know how much eggs cost nowadays, y'all know that these are priceless commodities. But we're putting in our chicken wings. And this is just for an additional binder. But we back. Anyway, like I was saying, I got my gloves. That's looking about right. Y'all see that there? Nice and seasoned. Of course, you want to make sure that this is seasoned inside and out. So first things first, I always add all-purpose flour. That makes a nice generous base for our chicken. This is TD Jakes' brand of fish and chicken seasoning. It's called Lefties. It's nice and spicy. You see TD Jakes right there, looking rather dapper with the tie and everything. TD Jakes is problematic. I don't know. He look like TD Jakes. I don't know what to tell you.
Is that actually TD?
Nah, this is some dude named Lefty.
What is this a respect on Lefty?
I mean, that might be TD Jakes' alias or something, Come here and tell me this don't like TD Jakes.
I know who Lefty is. I know who TD Jakes is.
You know who Lefty is?
I know the brand.
Y'all went to school? Back in the day. Then I go in with a little bit of garlic powder, some onion powder, the cayenne pepper, some Cajun, and then a touch of Madison Square Garden, or MSG if y'all don't know. Using my left hand, I'm going to take the chicken wing as you see here, dip it right into the dry batter, and that mustard and egg should let it bind together quite nicely. Of course, you want to pat it down, squeeze all that flour onto it so you can make sure you get a fully coated wing. Shake off a little bit of that excess. I'm going to put it here on a wire rack so some of those crispy bits can develop. All right, I had to go and wash the dishes, so excuse me for being a little bit late. But you gotta make sure you have a clean kitchen before you work, So right now, while the oil is heating up, I'm going to make my ranch. My wife loves homemade ranch, so do I. And it's, a lot cheaper and better to just do it at home like most things. Mine is really simple. I start with mayo as my base. Usually I'll use QP mayo. You're going to use about a cup of mayonnaise to put that in there. Next up, we're going to go in with that same amount of sour cream, just to make sure it's nice and balanced. It's about a cup of that as well. This part you could be a little liberal with, but I like my ranch a little bit on the thinner side. I usually add about half a tablespoon or so of rice wine vinegar. This just gives that ranch some acidity. Then you can use whatever brand ranch dip you have. I'm using Hidden Valley. That's my go-to. And I usually go for the whole pack. And then not too much. I use about a teaspoon of garlic powder. You see that come together rather nicely. So you can see the consistency. This is what we're looking for. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I want to go for 350. If it goes to at least 365, that's fine, because once I add all the chicken wings, that oil is going to cool down a bit and get us to that right designated temperature. Ooh, yeah, that sounds good. Actually, you know what? Hold on a second. Flip it over this way because I want that tip side to get fried too. I don't want that sticking up. And for anybody who wants to ask, this recipe is already on my website, cookingwithpatlee.com. I'll make sure I put a link in the description so you can get the recipe plus all of my most popular and exclusive recipes. All right, so I got the chicken in the background frying. I'm gonna go ahead and get my mashed potatoes ready. I have a potato ricer. If you're old school and prefer to use a masher, that's perfectly fine. I always say use what you have. I prefer the ricer personally just because I get a creamier texture with the potato, and it just comes out a little bit smoother for my liking. See, it comes out just like that. Genuinely, I feel like, I don't know, you ever feel like you have one of those days where you're just wondering what your path and what your journey is going to be, and you know it's coming, but you don't know when it's coming. You know what I mean? Just been having one of those moments. Like I talked about earlier, mental health is essential when it comes to just everyday living, And as somebody who really just wants to have a win, you know what I mean? Like, it's not to say that I don't have any wins. I have plenty of wins and I'm very grateful for my life, don't get me wrong, but I'm trying to do the best thing that I can for my wife and my kids, and it always seems like you take one step forward, then an obstacle comes and it's another step back. But lately I've learned that you can only control what you can control, that sometimes you may play a good hand, and sometimes life may deal you a bad hand. It's not your season. But the best thing to do is just to work with what you got, keep pushing, keep working hard, and eventually, you know, good karma will come to you. I'm going to add my milk in just a little bit at a time. You don't want to go too crazy because then you'll have a very, very soupy mixture. Show you how these chicken wings are looking. They're done, baby. Look at that. Woo! Perfectly golden brown, crispy, all over. That is a beautiful looking chicken wing, if I do say so myself. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get Keisha's plate put together. I know she's hungry right now. And then I'll just go ahead and clean up the kitchen and fix my plate right afterwards. A nice little close-up of the plate. Made some roasted green beans, some homemade mashed potatoes from scratch. Cornbread wasn't from scratch, it's just Jiffy. I didn't have the time, and I don't really care, honestly. I just wanted to make a nice meal. You see the perfectly fried, crispy chicken wings here. And of course, the homemade ranch. Here, Liv. Anything to drink? All right, okay. All right, that about wraps it up. Really hectic day. Crazy way to end a BlerdCon weekend, but I don't know. Things happen, but we're home safely, thank God. Dinner's ready. I'm about to go clean up the kitchen and then get myself situated. But if you like the content that you saw, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe. I want to bring more content to you guys aside from just, you know, the normal cooking videos. I want to show you what goes on behind the scenes, you know, the day-to-day stuff that I do. So please make sure you show that support. Follow me for more recipes like these. And until the next time we feast, peace.